Alrighty, good afternoon, folks. I'm on to Smudcast number 361, the Redhead on Screen, How We Respond to Difference. So, odd video, essentially is talking about redheads in movies, and I believe maybe some TV shows, I can't recall. I watched this a few days ago. And it's a strange take. It's not bad. It's just there's some random comments by the narrator which make you go, "Wait a second, slow down. You didn't have to say that. Let's hear that one more time." So this is by the take. They are a channel of 1.3 million subs, and this video just came out last month, and it's got over 100K views. So they are like any big name
Oh
in
shoot.
YouTube. Yeah, they just pump out these videos, and it could be any topic. So there's no actual singular philosophy or like they're not a media channel. They just cover whatever. They just do whatever they like. So
It seems to have 5.4K likes and 144 dislikes.
oh yeah, I don't think it's a bad video. I just think
Mhm.
it's one of those politically correct channels that they'll just say the stuff that they think sounds good, and the commentators will respond as such. So maybe they don't even write the script. It's just some guy, some editor. He's like talking about videos or movies, and they'll take some hot leaning right or left take. I don't even know what political agenda they're leaning towards, but definitely something on the left in this case for some commentary. I'm not sure what the point of looking at redheads in general are.
Oh yeah, they're subscribed to CNN.
Yeah, because you could take any fetish about human appearances like hair color, hairstyle, haircut, and go, "Ooh, I love tomboys, especially when they're blondes or whatever." And it's like, yeah, there's some examples of that in movies and comics and all sorts of places. So
Oh sure, yeah, I think that's fine. It's the direction she takes where I get lost.
yeah, I think there's some not modern examples, but examples in the past few years of people
Mm,
berating
yeah.
or teasing redheads. And I don't see what the big deal is because when you tease something, it's usually a sign that someone's attracted to that person. And this happens even in adult life. So
Mm,
when you talk about the thing you like in a not a derogatory way, but in a teasing way, it means you're actually attracted to that person because the I believe it's a recessive trait in the Scottish genome, if you want to call that far. People are generally not as dominant with redheads, so it's like, oh, it's a rare thing, and maybe it's something to preserve. I'm not sure, but regardless, it's attractive, and I think it is an attractive trait in women, men as well. So it's kind of a thing that you'd want to tease because it's like, ooh, who's this? Who's this attractive young lady who does her hair up in a certain way and tries to hide it? But the women I've dated who've had auburn style colored hair, they were very proud. You know, they're not shy. They don't take it for granted. They're just like, yep, this is who I am.
yeah.
I know where I come from. I'm proud of my heritage, and I think that's fairly common among healthy individuals. They like to show off how attractive they are, especially the ladies. So
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah, so I don't see a huge problem. I've never berated a lady for having a unique hairstyle unless it's been like Halloween or something and they go crazy. But that's Halloween. That's fine. So
Mm.
redheads are gorgeous. What can I say? They're absolutely fantastic. So good stuff.
Yeah, it is attractive. Honestly, I really like. I've never seen that many redheads. Really, I've only met like probably one in my lifetime.
I've met quite a few, but I
Oh
get
yeah.
I get around,
Uh,
so I meet a lot of people in general. So it's not like impossible, but it is rare. So to be friends with someone like that is tough, and to be close to people is even tougher. So it's always like, wow, like you learn about their. It's always some Irish or Scottish background and history
mm,
about immigrating from Europe to to wherever, and all the history of the family and how they grew up, and all the wonderful stereotypes you associate with the Scottish or the Irish, like they're crazy drinkers, they like to fight, they're loud, that sort of thing. So that gets played around more than the hair color, I would imagine. But, whew, all right, guys. Well, let's just check how long this video is. It's about, almost 20 minutes. We're at 19:07. So, shouldn't take that long, though. I mean, it's not a horrific video. It has some moments where you have to pause and go, wait a second. Guys, come on. Be serious. Anyway. I believe we're all on the watch together. I think we get started here.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's go.
Redhead kissed by fire.
Redheads on screen have long tended to fall into two camps. They're either ostracized or fetishized.
I like redheads. Their mouths are like a drop of strawberry jam in a glass of milk.
And the dividing line comes down to their gender. While redhead women are often portrayed as hypersexual vixens,
But I know when that redhead starts getting kooky that something about me feels alive inside.
redheaded men are presented as undesirable outcasts.
How is it okay for you to bully Ben?
Because he's a ringer.
A what?
A ringer, sir. Because he's got red hair. A orangutan. That's what we call him.
A big reason for the redhead dichotomy is the fact that natural red hair is the rarest hair color there is, existing in only 1 to 2% of the population.
I'd held the highest opinion of redheads as a fellow hair minority group.
As a result, the redhead has historically been used in art history, film, and TV as a visual symbol of differentness. Digging deeper into on-screen portrayals of redheads, we can better understand our culture's response.
I don't think we see Buffy the Vampire Slayer as anything, Willow as anything spectacular, because everyone in that show uses magic to some degree. So,
was
I've
that
never really
Willow?
had this segregation of characters that are red and they would have any special value over the other ones. What's the meaning behind the hair color, really? Maybe some women do look more attractive like that, but not really.
yeah, I never. The only unique thing about her was she had a lesbian relationship, I think, and that wasn't that big a deal otherwise. So it's not like it's a huge part of her character. It's just she happened to be a redheaded actress, or that's what makeup did. I don't even remember what her normal hair color is. So it wasn't.
That's not even real.
Well, I don't know. It wasn't a big deal at all in the story. So I don't think it ever factored into any conversation I can recall. But I never really watched Buffy intently, so I don't know. Maybe there was a scene or two, but I don't recall it being an issue. I don't recall Willow's character being supported by her hair color. It was more or less her problems. Her conflict was she was becoming so obsessed with her magical abilities that it became like a drug, and she was abusing it. That's what I recall about her character, not her hair. She could be bald. It wouldn't really change anything, really. So, anyway.
Is to differ in general. While being a white redhead in actual life should never be equated with the experience of a person of color, the on-screen redhead's ostracization and fetishization dichotomy is a revealing mirror of how our society has gone to...
Wait. No. I was like, what does Dexter's Laboratory have to do with Mad Men? I don't...
Because the white man gets ostracized and the woman gets, I don't know, power, respect. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh. Weird.
I mean, Dexter is a pretty smart kid. He's only outcasted because he's a nerd, not because he's a redhead.
No, I think of Dexter, I do not think of him as a redhead. I really don't. He's just a crazy kid with inventions.
Yeah, he goes on a fun adventure. He even gets a girl sometimes, but I don't know. That's weird.
Anyway.
Substantial difference, whether racial, religious, or ethnic. Here's our take on how we can use the redhead dichotomy to expose our views on difference and prejudice.
The redhead dichotomy? What the hell is she talking about?
I don't know.
So the guys are attacked and the women are sexualized. Like, what? Isn't that any guy who's growing up and any girl who's it's just like, yeah, she's an attractive lady. She has a unique look about her. It could be her hair. It could be anything. It just could be her nose, for all I know.
Are redheads more attractive than any other hair-colored women?
Well,
Someone else to decide.
She just showed a movie where there's a redhead who you would consider not attractive. So, and I've seen in a bunch of movies where the redhead women is not attractive. So I don't know. That's weird.
All right.
More broadly,
The ginger element. Well, I've sort of got a borderline phobia.
I'm not ginger.
There's a tinge of it.
The dichotomy of the redhead.
if you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified about all of our new videos. This dichotomy of redheaded women as fiery, seductive types and redheaded men as the nerdy, weirder types actually has a long history.
Actually, like both of you, like, can you think of like a really badass redheaded man from movies? Because I have a difficulty because I don't really like categorize like fictional characters. That oh yeah, like this is like the best because he has red hair.
Yeah, the only one that comes to mind is the dude from Star Wars. He was a redhead, but badass, maybe not. He's just a villain. Hux.
Wasn't there redheads in the Boondock Saints?
Sorry? Boondock?
Wasn't the Boondock Saints? Wasn't there a redhead?
I don't think
I forget because it's been so long since
Yeah.
Rorschach from Watchmen.
Was he a redhead?
Yes, he is.
He's a redhead.
He is ginger. And if
dyed
he's
his
not
hair,
badass, then I don't know.
He is a little extreme as a character. I don't know. Like, is that an action hero? It's because there's so many characters in that. He's one of many characters that focus on the plot. So, yeah, I guess that would work.
Wasn't Thor a redhead before the MCU? Or I mean Marvel, I guess.
I don't think so. I mean, you could look at Seth Green in general. I don't know if he's a leading man character, but how about Michael Fassbender? He's redhead.
Found a picture of him. Yeah, he is a redhead.
Yeah. Conan O'Brien. I mean, that's just popped over my head because I saw some videos last night on YouTube. he's not really a movie star.
It seems like Thor was a redhead in Norse mythology.
Chuck Norris.
Oh yeah, Chuck Norris.
Oh yeah. Well, supposedly he was bullied in school, and then he's picked up on martial arts. Yeah, Chuck Norris.
There's also WWE Sheamus, if you want to go there.
Yeah, the most famous one I know is from the X-Files was Gillian Anderson, but I don't see her as a redhead. I just see her as Scully. Like, I don't think of her like, oh yeah, she's a vixen. It's like, no, she's just a FBI agent. So, trying to think of other ones, but they don't really like. I don't think of people in terms of their hair color. It's kind of a strange thing to say, but doesn't come into my mind.
Yeah.
Like,
Plus,
it's like thinking of like the Wendy's girl. It's like, oh yeah, she's a redhead. It's like, okay, sure. What do you do? The other one that pops to my mind is the chick from Game of Thrones, Ygritte. So, yeah. But other than that, I don't ascribe character based off hair color. That's a weird thing to do.
Well, and I guess because where do most redheads come from again? Right? They come from Ireland,
Scotland, Ireland.
What else did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, Scotland. Yeah. Okay. So maybe that's because when you're casting, I guess a male lead in an action movie, it'll probably be in America, right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Well,
maybe that's why
the classic
we don't have
example
that
is-
much redhead badasses.
Yeah, the classic example we have recently is Scarlett Johansson. So, Black Widow, I guess, is the most popular modern one. If anyone watched that film. So, but yeah,
No, I didn't.
she could have been dark colored hair. She could have blonde hair. She still would have been a sex symbol / spy martial artist. It wouldn't have made a difference. I don't know. So.
Oh sure, I guess, but I guess the takeaway would just be because she wasn't a natural redhead and she wasn't like really Russian. But
I know, I bet whatever. It's just people do this for matching the comic book or whatever. So it's like, all right, okay, that's cool. Not a big deal. Oh, here's Alex Halo. Hey, Alex. Hollywood, redheads don't exist. They are black. What?
Oh, yeah, okay. Like a lot of these redheads from fictional stories have been replaced by black actors, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like these reboots, rehashes.
Yeah.
Like
well,
we
even saw.
I think like there's
before.
the Teen Titans live action where they replace Starfire with a black actress.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's some redhead superheroes. I can't think of it straight away.
All right.
I don't really prioritize on hair color. That's like one of my least worries with me.
Yeah, like you remember Gates McFadden in Star Trek? It's like I don't care that she was a redhead.
I can't even remember what hair that she had. Like I may like remember what the character did, but like I don't remember like face.
Yeah, her character was so lame and so secondary to everything else happening. She had maybe a few episodes throughout the 7 seasons, and such a weak. She was not involved in many major plots, and the ones she was involved in were so dumb. Like the one where she is in this time bubble or some sort of alternate universe where everyone keeps disappearing on her. And she's trapped, and she ends up being the only person on the Enterprise because of Wesley, some experiment he was running on the warp core. This is the dumbest story. Like, oh, come on, this is stupid. Whoever thought of this plot? It's getting boring and more boring, and ugh. Then there was another one where she finds some. Oh, this was specific to her genetics, where some ghost needed to suck her life energy in order to live, so she had to go back to Earth to I don't know, find some ghost that was living off her nana's life, some creepy shit. It was there's some really dumb stories with Beverly Crusher. So
yeah, the episodes that we never talk about.
Yeah, you forget the titles. You're like, oh my god, what the hell was that shit? So yeah. But the hair color was irrelevant, aside from her genetics specific to that episode that was important to the plot. But yeah, don't really care. They're not drinking Guinness and dancing a jig and doing all those other expected stuff that you might think of the Irish or the Scottish. So no big deal.
Yeah.
Sarah Dotson writes that visual artists have mined the potent symbolism of red hair to alternately suggest promiscuity, sensuality, deviousness, and above all, otherness for centuries.
A whore named Roz.
What colour hair?
Red.
Oh, I like red hair.
Dante Gabriele Rossetti's La Ghirlandaia, or the famously redhead-focused paintings of Titian, reinforce the link between red-haired women and beauty or...
Yeah, but Titian did a lot of stuff. I mean... he was extremely talented. So using red or vermilion or rouge or any sort of colors in art pops. Like the color just pops out. That's why you use it. And in his specific style, it worked well. But you compared to other oils, like you could use like ultramarine and other things like that. But the thing is, ultramarine doesn't really work as well unless you're using clothing. So the fact that such a color exists would be great. Let's use it because it's attractive and it's different. It's unique. So I don't know. You gotta look at the Renaissance painters and see how they used color and style and composition really. So how they focus your eye in a certain area for a certain reason. Anyway.
Hyper-femininity. Mary Magdalene, typically cast in Christian dialogue, though not in the Bible itself, as a sinner who's saved by Jesus, is often painted with red hair, which becomes a symbol of the sexual sin she leaves behind.
Her long hair flows like a river over the stone that she leans against, but there in no way is it being used to hide her nakedness.
In modern culture, the redheaded
I was gonna say, is it okay that we have nudity in this video?
Well, if it's okay for them, it's okay for us. It's nothing wrong with Renaissance nudes. It's inoffensive.
redheaded woman is frequently exoticized, with red hair even becoming a visual shorthand for female sexiness. In Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit is the ultimate male fantasy. According to her creator, Richard Williams, thanks to her impossible proportions and long flame red hair.
You don't know how hard it is being a woman looking the way I do.
In True Blood, Jessica is turned into a vampire as an inexperienced girl, and the character's virginity even regenerates after each time she has sex.
Every time we do like our first time.
So she embodies the patriarchal male fantasy of an erotic virgin.
Okay, wait a second.
Did she just say patriarchal?
Patriarchal male fantasy of an erotic virgin? I don't know that the patriarchy has some sort of specific fetish for virgin.
Well, fuck, we have been exposed, guys. We gotta plan out a new one.
This sounds like some sort of cult of men in like masks and robes and shit, doing some sort of sex ritual or something.
This has been the Illuminati plan all along.
Yeah, we need some virgins who are redheads, and we have to go conduct our monthly.
The next plot of Deus Ex.
I don't know. It's weird. What is this shit? I don't know what's going on here. Which culture is this from? Some weird conspiracy theory? Oh yeah, they all like redheads and they're virgins. It's like, what? Do they import them from Scotland? Like, what are you talking about?
Does that mean men aren't bad because we want virgins, not sluts?
Jeez.
I don't know. Like, how does that work? So, like, if she sleeps with one guy, she can never sleep with another guy?
I don't know.
Is that how this works? I don't know. See, it's like they don't think about what they say, and they just, I don't know. It creates questions that shouldn't have to be asked.
Well, you know, if she advocates for open relationships, we know her position.
I don't know. The Old Boys Club loves vampire stories. I have no freaking clue. This is retarded.
Also, the redhead is not the male fantasy. Trust me. There's a bunch of guys that want blondes. There was a time when every girl wanted to be a blonde for some reason.
Yes.
They still bleach their hair. They color their hair blonde. It's all it's never going to stop.
Yeah. Now we got rainbows.
Who just want to have a black hair or like darker hair, pretty much, because they just don't like having like a bright color.
Yeah. There's auburn colored hair or darker redheads that color their hair black. So it's not uncommon, but women color their hair for all kinds of different reasons. So whether
guys like it,
yeah, whether it's to be attractive or just have a change of pace. It happened a lot when I was growing up in high school. It's like, yeah, these girls like to change their look all the time. So good for them. Sometimes they get a perm. Sometimes they straighten their hair. Sometimes they get a cut really short.
They shave their head for some weird fucking reason.
That is weird. Yeah, that happens very rarely. But that's like, whoa, what'd you do that for?
Yeah, no, I have seen that.
Yeah.
At first, I thought she had cancer. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Just like, what are you talking about?
In one case, they donated their hair, and they were growing it out long specifically for that reason. So it made some sense. But it's like, whoa, my God, you're bald. Holy shit. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't want to do anything so bad in my life. Make love to me again.
Willow in Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a bookish redhead who falls more into the nerdy stereotype typically reserved for boys, but her vampire counterpart is a more sexualized version of herself.
Kind of like the idea of the two of us.
Yeah, that was like one episode.
Oh,
I think.
she is a lesbian.
Yeah, but this, like, her character has nothing to do with being a redhead. Like, absolutely nothing. I'm thinking of Kira Nerys from DS9, and she had that, Mirror World counterpart, where she.
Oh
was,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, she was like the sexually violent, seductress sort of character, but I think most characters in that universe are like that anyway. So it's nothing to do with her being a redhead. It's just this is the evil version of our guys, right? So yeah, the hair has
also
nothing to do.
I don't think all redhead boys are nerds, considering that Mark just showed us a picture of Rorschach.
Oh god. Yeah.
Is Rorschach a nerd now?
Guys in like top physical condition. He's like just constantly chasing after criminals, beating them to death. Yeah, it's
What a fucking nerd.
What a nerd, beating people to death with his fists.
What a nerd. He's not willing to like go away from his morals. So like he even asked like Dr. Manhattan to kill him if he can't live in a world where like he can't do his own justice. Yeah.
He goes to jail. It's like, yes, good, perfect. All the criminals are here.
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah.
Examples hair to feminine hypersexuality and femininity itself directly affect how we view redheaded men.
Okay, wait a second. It's a kid, first off. It's the Harry Potter story.
Doesn't Ron Weasley get the girl?
Well, yeah, he does, but
he does.
He's seen as the scared best friend of Harry Potter, so he's just sort of the sidekick who's never involved.
I've seen, I think, the first two movies.
He solved the chess puzzle, wasn't he? Chess, yeah. Like first movie.
Yeah,
I think that was his biggest involvement. I haven't seen anything else beyond.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't. I just didn't care. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's just because he was a good actor and they hired him, and that was the only reason. Nothing to do with his hair color. So, all right, here is White Knight Leo. Wait, how is Syndrome a loser? He nearly won. What are we talking about? Syndrome?
Syndrome is the villain from Incredibles. I think he was like Incredibles begins that like he's trying to be the sidekick of Mr. Incredible, the main character of the story, and
he's
being rejected because like he causes more trouble than good. So long after like his rejection, he plans out all this crazy plan to like just kill off all superheroes around the world and just like go for world domination pretty much. And he's a redhead.
Yeah, but we're not seeing him as evil, we're not seeing him being a redhead as he's the villain. And typically, as the narrator said, it was a guy who's lower quality or lesser status. It's like, no, he's the freaking villain. He's powerful. He's dangerous. So no, it's not how we see him.
Good point. Yeah.
That was weird.
Because he created like a multi-dollar company, I believe.
Yeah, he wanted to make everyone superhero or powerful, so that there was no superheroes or something like that. Yeah. Typical bad guy plot: make the world all one way, so everyone's at peace. Whatever. Here's White Knight Leo again. Ronald Weasley was only a loser in the movies. Really? In the books, he was better? I have no idea. I never read the books. Couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay.
Even then, I don't think J.K. would like, he's a redhead. Let's play with that. It's like, nah, I doubt it.
Do we even know he's a redhead in the books?
I have no clue.
Also wasn't like Syndrome as a kid. He was like, he had like blonde hair, like Mr. Incredible. Like I don't know, like probably he dyed his hair. Who the fuck knows?
I can't. I don't think he did. I don't know. It's been a while.
I just looked it up through Google Images.
Cool.
Oh, did you? Oh, so he actually does have blonde. Oh.
Yeah, like he has blonde hair as a kid, but like he could be like he's just copying the stuff, Mr. Incredible.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me.
Incredible boy.
on the other side of this coin, tend to be emasculating.
Why spiders? Why couldn't it be follow the butterflies?
Historically, red hair has been used to signify weakness or cowardice in men.
Panic now?
While Mary Magdalene's hair related to her feminine sin and difference, Judas Iscariot was also often depicted as having red hair in medieval art to signify his far more treacherous difference and disloyalty.
Do you know who was Ginger? Judas.
If we look at popular cartoons, the association with red hair being less masculine is seemingly ingrained from childhood. In The Simpsons, the meeker Rod and Todd Flanders are redheads.
Can we play now? You are playing. We're a team. Yay!
In Rugrats, while Tommy is the brave protagonist, red-headed Chucky is racked with worry and self-doubt.
Come on, Chucky.
What is he talking about?
This is, yeah.
Why is she using silly cartoons to explain her point?
You know, again, the redhead just pops on the screen as an art color. It's not because he's a redhead or ginger or whatever. If he was blonde or brown, it'd be like, it doesn't quite look as interesting. It's unique.
Exactly,
it's different. It looks cool.
Yeah, it doesn't really pop on the screen if it's not red. Really.
Yeah.
Like, imagine like this scene. Like if Chucky's hair would be like brown or like some other color, like black. It just wouldn't like really like be a good composition at all. It just like pops so well here if it's just this orangish red.
For its art style, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're talking about kids. Is that really emasculating men?
They're literally toddlers. Like, what the fuck does this crazy women want?
It's a kids show. It's nothing to do with power or societal roles or courage. It's a kid.
Have you ever heard of the Irish Mafia?
The IRA.
I mean, there's some redheads. I mean, they're fucking nuts.
Yeah. Okay.
How about the Scott from Samurai Jack? Is he a loser? I think like he was like doing like quite a bit of things, even though he has a red hair.
Don't, Tommy. I don't think this is such a good idea.
Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory may be a more self-assured redhead, but he still plays into the stereotype of the odd red-haired loner.
You are right. I am not a beefcake. I am just a cupcake. I would say you're more like a strawberry shortcake.
It's important.
All right, that's ridiculous. Come on, it's Dexter's Laboratory. It's his whole thing.
He's a nerd because he has red hair. No. He is a complete nerd. He's a complete nerd. And it's unrelated to the hair color.
He's an outcasted loner because the kids don't like nerds, apparently. That's the explanation.
If you're a genius and you're so bored, you go to your laboratory to make stuff because school is boring. Obviously, you're going to be a loner. I mean, come on. That's the premise of the show. He's by himself making shit.
He has like a secret laboratory, which is like the name of the show.
Well, yeah, but I think there's episodes where he wants to fit in. But it's not because he's not ostracized because he's a redhead. He's ostracized because he's a nerd. I don't know. That's I think there's even one episode where he learns to speak French, right? That's kind of the meme. Yeah, and he gets all the girls. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Here is Joe Crazy. Thank you, Joe. From what I heard, Ron Weasley had moments in the books that were given to Hermione in the movies.
Yes.
That's fine. I mean, adaptations from books to movies make sense. So there's nothing wrong with depicting Ron in the movies as weak and scared and what have you. So it's more of a visual tell to the audience to have a character be emotive of a particular personality. So I say, great, go for it. Make the scaredy cat best friend over there. Make the proud, what would you call, indignant, whatever Hermione was. She was very self-assured of herself, very intelligent. And then you had Mr. Harry Potter, who was just sort of go, go, go. We got to do this, and he's the leader. So works fine. Simple trio. Nothing.
I just think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be funny. I can already tell. It's my prediction that this YouTuber is gonna go women most affected.
Well, if if you're mentioning the patriarchy having some sort of virgin fetish for redheads, you're like, what the frickin' hell are you talking about?
I don't.
That was too much. Here's Strawman. Thanks for the 5. Her vids be describe in 4 words, crawling in my skin. Okay. All right. Let's do this.
Important to emphasize that most redheads hold white privilege, and any othering they may face as a result of their hair
Wait,
color.
whoa!
What does that even mean? Wait a second. Are they ostracized or not? If they're ostracized, what privilege do they have for being white?
Yeah, what the fuck?
I feel like, but
This
so
is
far
what
the
I'm
video was
talking
like how
about.
lame these characters are. Like they are emasculated, they are losers, and now they are like white privilege. Okay. Can she decide on like one thing to narrate about?
Maybe she's talking about the women, but I don't. If we're
Well,
oh my god,
if you're a woman in a redhead woman in whatever, she's saying they're sexualized. They are sexual, exotic things. Like, okay, great. But they also have white privilege. You're like, wait, so they are promiscuous, powerful women in public in America, and they sleep around? Like, what are you saying? Because you could do the same thing to the men. And you're like, all right, how do they have white privilege then if they're losers and no one likes them?
how do the Simpsons characters have white privilege? Like the yellow.
Exactly.
Yellow privilege.
Yellow privilege, yeah.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Well, here's an example of white privilege, folks. It's the guys from the next door neighbors. They're
Oh yeah, all those toddlers, they have white privilege. Clearly.
I don't know. What a thing to say.
Rarely equates with the serious discrimination experienced routinely by people of color today. In fact,
What is going on? Where?
Wait, redheads are oppressing colored people?
What? No, what? That's you.
Can we go back a bit? Because I'm not sure that I hear that correctly.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
and any othering they may face as a result of their hair color.
Any othering they may face as a result of their hair color. Okay.
Rarely equates with the serious discrimination experienced routinely by people of color today.
Okay, so she just made a dig at white people, but it doesn't compare to other forms of discrimination to other people like the blacks. Why even bring it up then?
That's what she's saying, really?
Yeah, she said, well, there's these redheads, and they also have white privilege, but, that doesn't compare. Like, so white privilege good or sorry is a bad thing to them, but it gives them whatever superior status or whatever society, which she didn't even talk about. And whatever discriminations redheads get who are white doesn't compare to minorities and the blacks and whatever. So why bring this up?
Wait, first of all, why is this video titled like this then? Secondly, why are all the redhead characters being replaced with black characters? Explain that. How are they being oppressed?
Because you see, there are only 1 or 2% of the population that are redheads, but there are like way more percent of people that are black in the population. So that means that like the black people are more oppressed than the redhead people because they have white privilege.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Because redheads are also white people.
Right.
But they are also losers, though.
Clearly, yeah.
Ugh. Anyway.
What a dumb YouTuber. Oh, man.
Let's
also like this is like on screen, like this is like a very stupid decision to make, like Ariel being like a Danish folktale character. Of course it's like the Disney version, but it's being like played by a black actress. Like, okay, it can be done because like it's just a character, but so it can be like played by anyone, but it's gonna look very stupid if it's like they just gonna dye her hair red.
Well, yeah, but it's like taking, let's say, the Anansi African spider myth and having it being played by an Eskimo or something.
Yes.
Like, it's just like, what? Why would you do that?
Well, like, what if like somebody wants to make an African movie and they only have like white actors to do it?
Well, it's kind of funny because I remember.
You've never seen a white African?
Well, I remember.
No. But like, you're trying to like have a story about like an African village that are just completely black, but in your movie you play those characters with white actors.
Well,
there's going to be a backlash about it.
Yeah, like,
no matter what.
You look at all the old films from the 60s and 70s, like Lawrence of Arabia and the Ten Commandments, and all these films with these British actors playing Egyptians and Romans.
Yes.
And it's
like ancient Greek theater. I think they didn't have women there to play women, so
exactly
the men had to play women.
Yeah, so that's just what happened during the time. But you can't, like, is the film good? Is it accurate to the times? No, obviously we need more olive-skinned folk to play Egyptians or what have you, of certain Eastern races or Middle Eastern races to depict proper skin tone. But it's like it doesn't affect me. I'm not like, oh, this is so offensive. It's like, no, they just got good actors at the time they could find for the budget they were allowed. Would it have been nice to have like all Egyptian cast? Yes, I think it would be perfect. But you don't care. You want the good actors to do the roles. You want Charlton Heston to be Moses and do his lines and all that crap. So it doesn't really bother me too much that they get the right person for the job. Maybe this actress who's playing Ariel is going to do a great job. I have no idea. It's odd that she's black, but it's not the end of the world. If she's any good at the role, then fantastic. To me, that's what matters. And maybe that's like I remember.
That's all. Sorry.
I remember the Black Cinderella in the '90s, the late '90s, with Whoopi Goldberg, and it was like a mixed. That was just weird because it was a mixed. Like, if you remember, I don't know if you guys saw it, but if you remember, the king was white, the son was he Indian? I can't remember. Like, there was this. It was a mixed family, and I was like, what the frickin' hell is going on here? So it was like Whoopi black, king white, Prince was, I don't remember, and a black Cinderella. And I was like, all right, this is different.
Surprised you remember that movie.
It wasn't a bad TV movie, but it was just like, this is weird. Like, this is.
I remember The Wiz with Michael Jackson, but that was like the black version with The Wizard of Oz. But I don't remember this one that you're talking about, Smudge.
Oh God, The Wiz. Yeah, I remember that.
That's all fine and dandy. I can agree to getting the right person for the right job. It's just weird that they keep crying about the suppression, and that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah. See, I don't mind different interpretations. Like I can figure it out. It's like, all right, it's kind of silly, but whatever. Let's see if it works. But to say that, oh, this is casted to be white. It's like, well, maybe it is casted to be white. The same way, Wakanda should be cast to be black. Like you want those scenes and those stories to be played by what they're representative of, which is the point. So
yeah, it's this thing of like either everything can be changed or nothing can be changed. Which route do you want to go?
Right. So
that's why they want to always take both sides of that.
Yeah. So if they depict a bunch of mermaids as multicultural and different ethnicities, cool, go for it. But don't make it a big issue. Don't make it like, oh, well, this family of this noble house of the mermaids is albino, and they've been fighting with the Asian mermaids or whatever. You're just like, what the frickin'? This is not in the story. When did this happen?
It's like the Korean War.
The Korean underwater mermaid wars. Yeah.
The last redhead Korean.
Anyway.
In fact, many white people were infuriated by Disney announcing that they would cast black actress Halle Bailey as Ariel in the live-action remake of The Little Mermaid,
The hashtag #NotMyAriel quickly trending on Twitter. Bailey's skin color front and center. Some tweeting, this isn't about racism. We just want an Ariel that looks like the Ariel we love.
But it's striking that the on-screen redhead's binary of emasculation versus exoticization corresponds to the way that our society others people of color. Or
The Goonies?
Yeah.
Okay, if the world of Susie Wong, which I've never heard of this video, was played by a non-Asian woman, I'd be a little concerned. The world of Susie Wong, played by Halle Berry. It's like, what? No. No. Please no.
From the title, it's like, yeah, how do you misconstrue that? I don't know. That's weird.
I would want the Asian lady to play the Asian role. That kind of makes sense to me. I don't know. Seems pretty obvious.
It's in the name.
Yeah, with the Little Mermaid, if you want to do an adaptation, go crazy. I don't care. But, things like the Ten Commandments or like historical stories which are trying to be myths or whatever, it's like, yeah, maybe you should get an Egyptian. Like nowadays. I haven't seen a remake. Maybe they fixed that, but I think you should probably stick to the historical example.
I think like in the UK they have recently had like a TV show, was it the movie, where they replaced one of the royalties by a black actress. And they had the same reaction just now that like, oh, well, this isn't an adaptation, so why are you angry? Even though it's like more of a historical representation to have like a British person playing a British royalty, pretty much. It's like it's accurate.
Alrighty, let's go.
People of color or people of different cultures according to their gender. A clear example is how much of pop culture frequently hypersexualizes Asian American women while
Okay,
what the
I don't know what
where did this come from?
I don't know what hypersexualize means. If there's an attractive woman on screen, she's attractive for many reasons, not just sexually. So, unless she's stripping and the show is about strippers or whatever, what is meant by hypersexualization? Because if you're going to hire actors, it doesn't matter if they're male or female, they're going to be attractive, and that usually accounts for sexually attractive as well.
It's almost like movies need to have attractive people in to advertise it even. Like, okay, like it's coming to a trend nowadays that like you can like hire like whoever actor. You should even have like fat actors. It's just not as appealing as you see like healthy body on the screen, pretty much. Like imagine like an action movie where like the guy looks despicable. It doesn't look like he can like lift up anything, and he apparently looks like framed as like the best action hero ever. Like Steven Seagal right now. It looks like a laughing joke. So.
And it's like I'm supposed to buy he can do parkour or something.
Yes.
Oh boy, this is not good.
I'm trying to remember the was her name like, I think it was Moonraker, really dumb. Was it Moonraker or some other Bond film where they had all the Bond chicks are relatively gorgeous, relatively like they're models of some kind, but they got one Bond chick who was sort of in overalls. And she was there to distract this old dude at some oil refinery or something because they wanted to use the pipeline to shoot an ambassador or something through it, and that would set off all these alarms. So she was like doing this like sexy, attractive thing to distract him, and it was kind of funny because it was just like this girl in overalls. She's not very seductive. And she just lets her hair go down, and she starts unbuttoning her blouse, and he's like, like this old man, like flip, and then she like brings him close to her chest so that so that he doesn't see all the alarms go off. And it was like, this is ridiculous. There's no way this guy would fall for it. But that's the whole thing that happened because the pressure went so high when they shot this dude through the tube. I think it was From Russia with Love. I can't recall, but it was so funny. But there's also other Bond girls like Grace Jones in A View to a Kill. I remember she was not that attractive. She was kind of butchy and big and tough and scary looking. and I think she had to sleep with a 60-year-old James Bond. So, there's some things you're like, I don't know, that probably wasn't the best choice, but it's the role they were assigned to do, and whatever the plot demanded. So, I just don't remember her name, but was it either Moonraker from Russia with Love? But funny stuff. Anyway.
Lining and manipulating Asian American men.
But I also want, nerdy Asian men to feel that they are worthy of love. And the problem is when you make fun of them in a secondary role where you don't explore their whole lives.
If we look back further in history, anti-ginger sentiments are actually rooted in racial prejudice. Europeans long associated Jewish people with red hair, often directing anti-Semitism at red-haired people, a link we can see reflected in Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice, Dickens' Oliver Twist, and Christopher Marlowe's The Jew of Malta. Ireland has one of the highest numbers of red-haired people per capita in the world, and the BBC writes that negative reactions to red hair in Britain stem from anti-Irish prejudice of the 19th century. When Irish people were regarded as, quote, ethnically inferior, this prejudice arguably still exists to an extent in the UK today, and we can see its lingering presence in common phrases like the red-headed stepchild being used to describe someone who is isolated or unwanted.
I'll beat you like a red-headed stepchild.
Red hair is also present in reductive depictions of Irish stereotypes everywhere, from characters like the Neanderthal O'Doyle family in 1995's Billy Madison. Hey!
Oh my god, stop.
Can he stop referencing comedies and like cartoons?
Exactly.
For her point really much. Like, none of these examples are seriously making any of her points valid.
Yeah, these comedy movies tend to make fun of everybody, not just one specific group.
Again, like Dexter is like a nerdy boy. His hair color is like the smallest point in that.
Yeah, in Adam Sandler movies, they make fun of everybody and they make fart jokes. They think that's funny.
Especially Adam Sandler's character. He is like probably like displayed as the dumbest character in that.
Oh yeah, he always plays like a retard.
I just found out it was Rosikia Miklos from The Living Daylights. If you guys ever remember that episode or that scene. Yeah, she was a pipeline technician, and she wore this what wasn't overalls, it was basically just this jumpsuit that workers would wear. But she had her hair done up, and then she took it off and did a sexy dance for this guy. And anyway, I thought that was funny as all. Wasn't a redhead though, but one of those examples of a Bond girl not being a seductress, but seducing and making it a funny scene as opposed to a sexual scene, even though it was meant to seduce. Mm-hmm. Great stuff. Here is Francis Ford Coppola. Thank you for the donation. Copper Cab is seething right now. Okay. Copper Cab. Don't know. I'm assuming that's the guy from Billy Madison or whatever. But anyway.
Rules. To the more hapless Frank and Doofus in 2021's Frank of Ireland.
It said on your form you've done a bit of sparring, Doofus.
Yeah, well, I used to work part-time in a spar, so it was only light sparring.
Irish film critic Kevin Marr branded 2020's Wild Mountain Time borderline offensive.
Now, they say this new bottle Guinness is as good as the pub, but that's a lie. But it isn't too bad, maybe.
Does it taste of glass?
It does.
While the film was intended as a positive portrayal of Irishness, Marr likened it to John Wayne's The Quiet Man, in which the Irish character is cast as a bewitching magical other there to sweep a charming American off his feet.
If anybody had told me 6 months ago that today I'd be in a graveyard in Innisfree with a girl like you that I'm just about to kiss, I'd have told them...
Oh, but the kissing's a long way off yet.
The way that red hair is used to diminish Irish characters illustrates how one visual difference can be weaponized against a whole group of people. A 2014 study by psychology undergraduate Kevin Reagan found that more than 90% of male respondents with red hair reported having been victimized because of their hair color.
Wow, a person who's different in school gets picked on by other kids. Wow. That's like every kid. You're different. We're gonna pick on you.
wasn't even a big number, was it? It was
Well,
9%.
You could say that about any person who's different or attractive or unique. Kids will pick on other kids simply for that. Guys especially will pick on other girls because they like them for dumb reasons. Guys like girls at that age, believe it or not, and they pick on them. They have no idea how to express themselves properly. So, who knows? There's lots of reasons why that happens. Here's Francis Ford Coppola. These people claimed Captain Marvel isn't a Mary Sue, with no elaboration. Really? And said she was a better character because her movie didn't hold a man's hand? And they didn't elaborate. Don't expect good argument. They were probably friends with Maggie Mayfish.
It could be.
Oh boy! Captain Marvel's a good film because she didn't need a man. Wasn't she trained by a man? Wasn't she,
Yes.
in charge? Like a man was in charge of her? Wasn't that?
Yes.
Yeah,
But she went against him, right?
Okay.
Also, are Irish people really offended by depictions of themselves in comedies?
We should ask Adolphace to elaborate on that, but
well, I've seen a video where they react to Sunny in Philadelphia, and they have a lot of these Irish stereotypes, and they love it. I don't know.
I doubt they are not that whiny bitches who would complain about in a video essay. Yeah, so unlikely. This is all just projection.
All right.
Projection, exaggeration.
I think they just found as many clips from everything they've ever seen of redheads and just started talking.
99% of those are just parodies of cartoons.
Yeah, or they're comedies, which is whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Also, that guy he was talking about, he was in I think he was in Black Mirror, and he gets to bang the hot woman. So, how's he a loser? I don't know.
Here's Spawn Freak. Thanks for the 5. Why do I doubt this vid is going to condemn the Great Ginger replacement currently happening in film? Jeez, I don't know.
That's what's so weird. She talks about how they're sort of oppressed, right? But she doesn't actually talk about that.
Well,
yes.
She just talks about hypotheticals.
Well, it's interesting that she says white dominance or whatever the bullshit was statement, and yet
white privilege.
Yeah, is being the redhead white character is being replaced by a black woman. You're like, okay, so is that a good thing? What thought you said they were oppressed. Thought that was nothing compared to being black.
No, blacks are getting more oppressed. So that's why they have to replace the redhead.
Yeah,
But yeah, redheads are still oppressed, just in other ways.
You can make a
I can't follow it
about Scarlett Johansson's film being one of the last ones to come out. You have Iron Man films, you had Thor films, you had Hulk films. Those are a little different. Spider-Man, you had all these other films, but no, we don't have the one about the white redhead woman. And they finally came out with one. Wasn't that hot? After the fact, this is what should have happened before the whole Infinity Gauntlet war. So
I could have. It's just I want to put stupid bullshit in it. That's why.
It would have made more sense if they did it, though. It would in terms of
not true
timeline, but you go with what works. Was Scarlet was Black Widow that popular? I don't think so. Spider-Man, no problem. Iron Man, sure. Thor, no problem. The Hulk, no problem. At least in the comic books. I don't know about the various movie iterations. Those were always weird. Anywho.
Vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Ultimately, allowing the media to mock or stereotype any visual difference sends the message that this type of behavior is acceptable and affects how we view people with differences in real life.
Your son will be ginger his whole life. You might want to just...
Oh my god, okay. The Ed Sheeran gets shit comments sometimes. But yeah, he's very successful in his music career. How is he
all
oppressed?
these successful people, yeah. Be it fiction or not. And suppose we need to like feel sorry about like these obvious jokes about the people. Like we shouldn't
it's
have
Twitter.
any kind of jokes to anyone. We might offend them.
Yeah, it was even a skit. They read mean tweets. It's funny. And it's not like he said, "Oh, you dirty fucking ginger." He just said, "Oh wow, he's still ugly."
Yeah, does that refer to his hair color alone, or maybe his face, or like other features as well?
Yeah, maybe it's his face, maybe it's his voice. I don't know.
All the characters that she was showcasing in the video, like all of them had like a very distinct trait that could be traced, other than the hair color. Like I feel like that Jimmy Neutron was that cartoon I was showed. I think Ginger is like a fucking nerd. So it's so obvious, like why he's like the way he is, and the rest is just the same. Goes there as well.
Yeah, but there's 3 characters in that Jimmy Neutron show. There's Carl, the redhead, and then there's some retard or whatever. It's like, yeah, the redhead is actually much intelligent than the retard. I don't know. That's weird. He would pull from that example.
Here is Francis Ford Coppola. Listen, guys, I've been to Ireland and I grew up in Boston. I guarantee you, your average Irish person laughs at these jokes and isn't offended. Hell, they make these jokes. It's like with black people in the Boondocks show. I would imagine so. If you grew up and people teased you for your physical changes or differences, you've heard it, most of it all before. So
yeah, and it should be like if you're intelligent enough, then you can like laugh along with these jokes. If you offend by these jokes, then like it just proves that like you are just incapable of like adult life.
Yeah, I think it's pretty common to grow up this way.
They love Shrek.
If you are an attractive male or female and you have some talent, you got some good looks, chances are you're going to find a job doing acting if you want to pursue that. So it's not a complete issue of, oh, it's a redhead, you'll never get a job in entertainment. It's like, excuse me?
Well, maybe not now because they want to silence all that, but
if you're attractive for one reason or another, even when you're not attractive, sometimes that's the role they're looking for, you will get hired if you are the right fit for the role. So I don't get it.
To just put him down.
Okay, this is the dumbest thing. Anyone can be a villain. It doesn't have to be a redhead. Come on, guys. This is retarded. Can you imagine the blonde villain? Or the raven-colored hair villain? It's like the black-haired villain? Yeah, what's the big deal? Who cares?
The black villain.
The black villain.
The white villain. The white.
The Mexican villain.
All these patriarchal white men who are villains, like every Bond film. So
the goatee villain.
Actually, I think like the first Bond villain was Asian because he was from Hong Kong.
Blofeld, the Spectre guy. Yeah, they mostly white, but yeah, there were some foreign guys here and there, for sure.
When everyone's super, no one will be.
All the stereotypes about both redheaded men and redheaded women are expressed
He's
most
not a villain.
obviously in a prominent on-screen character, the redheaded villain.
I probably should have mentioned this earlier. I'm poison.
Female redhead villains are often seductresses. Their villainy linked to hyper.
So are women in general in movies and stories. Wow, attractive females are seductresses? Who would have thought? Well, how does that work?
It's almost like females are not as strong as men.
They got to use other techniques to get what they want. Gee, how'd that work? I don't know.
What's the best way to do that? Oh, let's just sleep with the guy.
So
then when his guard is down, strike.
I've never heard of grandma got run over by a reindeer. I really don't think This is a good example.
Yeah.
Of, like,
It's one of those like infamous movies because it's like so bad it's good animation.
Okay.
I don't even think
it's
Poison
very
Ivy was a
weird place
redhead.
to get the example from.
Was she a redhead before she got the Poison Ivy stuff?
Yes.
I mean in that movie though.
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
Attractiveness, sexuality. One of Poison Ivy's greatest weapons is her ability to make love potions to trap her foes.
Why not send Junior home early?
And while in the Marvel Cinematic Universe we know Black Widow as an Avenger, in the comics she starts out as an antagonist of Tony Stark, seducing him to steal weapons for the USSR. Often their sexual agency is what female red-headed villains are punished for, as we see with the Bond villain Fiona Volpe in Thunderball.
You like wild things, Mr. Bond, James Bond.
Wild. You should be locked up in a cage.
These stories not only play into the exoticizing of the female other, but also notice
Oh,
how they vilify
come
anyone
on.
who's too assertively sexy or in control of her sexuality. An interesting pre-code forerunner to this trope is the...
How about Scarlet Witch? Wasn't she a redhead?
She was.
Yes.
Did she use her sexuality, or did she use her crazy, magical, over-the-top powers?
Her power is probably
Powers.
from the redhead, yeah.
There's also Jean Grey. She doesn't use seductive techniques or anything.
Yeah, her powers are also, well, certain versions of Jean Grey, her powers are over the top as well. Nothing to do with being seductress, although she is a love interest here and there. But that's just the story, nothing to do with being a redhead. Oh, also a rogue. She's also a redhead. So, but...
Oh, is she?
Yeah, the thing about her hair is it turns white because she absorbs too much of one person and it drains into her body or something. Oh, God, this is...
I forget, isn't Gambit a redhead also? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I know he has red eyes.
Yeah, I think he is, yeah.
And that Shark Tale movie, that was just a terrible example. It's like, yeah, it's a red fish.
I think Gambit's a good example because he actually has this. He has multiple mutant powers, and one of them is very charming ability. He could charm people easily. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
But so that would be an inverse or an opposite of having the male redhead being the charmer or the seductress. But I guess there's not too many well-known stories of Gambit charming people that are in movies. They're mostly in the comic books.
I mean, Gambit got his own
The Redheaded
comics.
Woman, in which Jean Harlow, typically known for her platinum blonde hair, plays a redheaded seductress who sleeps her way up into high society.
Well, I'll tell you the trouble, Red. You're too pretty, and I don't trust myself.
While the narrative does frame her as a heartless vixen,
He doesn't love you. He loves me because he told me so.
it doesn't punish her promiscuity, thanks to the movie being made before the Hays Code, which would demand that immoral characters get their comeuppance. Lillian ultimately thrives as a symbol of how her ruthless...
Yeah, it's the Hays Code. Don't worry. It's just...
That was actually legit?
Well, it's not ironclad rule, but if you wanted to make a film with a certain production company that followed the Hays Code, it had to match the script had to match whatever the code was. So,
wow.
And I doubt that that stuck around, did it? Or is it still a thing?
I don't know how long. It must have been at least a few decades, but it was pretty much a guideline for... Like, it's basically for censorship because you didn't want to make something that would not get published or not get produced. So you had to pretty much, like, no sex, no over the top violence, like none of the very Christian values that could be overridden. So stuff like that. Obviously that was changed in the 60s and 70s because that's when Hollywood was a bit more promiscuous. So, yeah, no, that's just how it was for several decades.
Yeah.
This world runs on the opportunism she's shrewdly mastered. An even more enjoyably bad example of the redheaded vixen is Divine in Pink Flamingos,
We're not going to run you out of town. We're going to kill you.
who celebrates her title as the filthiest woman alive in a film beloved by the LGBTQIA+ community as, quote, timeless trash.
Filth are my politics. Filth is my life.
Arguably, some more modern portrayals of female redheaded villains have taken a step back from that spirit of celebration. Redheaded Cheryl Blossom, who began as a one-dimensional sex symbol in Archie Comics, was updated into a villainous mean girl on Riverdale.
Consider this your last practice as River Vixens and your last week as my social handmaidens. You're fired on all fronts.
Even as the show attempts to round out her character in later seasons, red hair continues to be an important signifier of Cheryl's family and their cruelty.
You've been in cahoots with Daddy's twin. You tried to kill Nana Rose, and then you shipped me off to a ghoulish nunnery.
This cartoon...
Because I'm a redhead. No. What?
Well, it's CW. It's like, do you really expect them to have brains?
Well, no, I don't think the CW is at fault here. It's the analysis by these people.
No, I know.
Because they're redheads and their families are evil, therefore they're depicted as evil. It's like, what the frickin' hell are you talking about?
It's almost like someone, if in the family is redhead, then probably like the offspring is going to be a redhead as well. Oh god.
So what is Mary Jane then?
well, she is a really bad girlfriend in the Raimi movies for sure.
Yeah, but
here is Francis Bordcopel again. Thank you. This is the 14-year-old white girls getting offended on others' behalf meme. Also, I really don't care that people want to have sex with redheads on screen. This is not a problem. God, this video screams, oh, look at these poor big trotters. We must help them. These are attractive actors doing their roles in stories written by other people. I don't see the problem. They could have hired, for this specific role on the screen, anyone. She did a good job as a whatever high schooler, part of a cheerleading team, which to me is more of an American thing. Like, I don't know any...
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know any high schools in my area or city that has a cheerleading team. There was some sorority or something like that. Never happened. So maybe in college?
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, we had cheerleaders in high school too.
Really?
It's a thing.
Not mine. Nowhere near mine. We didn't really have any sports teams either. So
yeah.
Well, I also love the somebody in the comments said that Daredevil was also a redhead. In the comments, I forget. Loser. Yeah, I forget because even in the live action, he's usually brown hair.
Yeah, did not cross my mind. That's when I think of Daredevil, I don't think of his hair. Just doesn't pop in my head.
Yeah, I don't fixate on the color. Just like the skin or the hair,
you could say,
or the eyes.
You could say memorable stuff about women because you're attracted to women more than men. And you go, oh yeah, definitely this character or this version of Scarlett Johansson. She has red hair here in this film. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that a lot. Looked really good in the scene when she was fighting or whatever. It's like, oh yeah. So, but you don't go, oh, she's a seductress. No, she's a spy. She will kill you.
Red-haired mean girl looks back to Big Red's character in Bring It On, whose hair color constitutes her nickname and almost her whole identity.
I'm still Big Red.
She's briefly presented as sexy in the opening dream sequence before being portrayed as the one-dimensional villain.
If I made any mistake as a squad leader, it wasn't borrowing cheers. It was announcing you as my successor.
In the American Horror Stories pilot, teenage Scarlet takes the red-headed villain trope to a new level by being both sexually sadistic and a violent murderer.
You just murdered 4 girls. We need to talk about your feelings about this.
Why? I've never felt better in my life.
Meanwhile, red-headed male villains are stranger, more horrific, and perpetuate the idea of red-haired boys as somehow abnormal.
From now on, no more Mr. Good Guy.
Okay, that's retarded.
Well, that's Chucky though. That's a doll.
A slasher flick. You're gonna compare a slasher flick to American Horror Story, really? Okay, I mean you could try. They're both the parent of all the genres is horror, so it can work. But a doll, a magical doll that kills people, compared to season 1 of American Horror Story. Okay.
Yeah, it's a difference, right?
Big difference, I would say. Yeah, that show changes every season, so they just get the same actors to play different roles with different wigs. Oy.
What
This
a
has
big brain.
also tied into anti-Irish sentiment, stemming from a dark version of the mythological Irish leprechaun as a horrific monster who also embodies Irish stereotypes.
Drink what you want. Drink what you're able. If you're drinking with me, you'll be under the table.
In both The Incredibles and Megamind, the red-headed villain's origin story presents him
Megamind.
as a loser who deals badly with rejection.
Good night, Hal.
It's a soft yes on Thursday. What's wrong with me?
When the nerdish outcast is not embraced by the one he desires, he lashes out and becomes fearsome.
I invented weapons, and now I have a weapon that only I can defeat.
There is no us, okay? There will never be an us.
But I have powers. You're supposed to be with me.
Fundamentally, the widespread use of red hair as an indication of villainy plays into our subconscious assumption that the other must be evil and dangerous, illuminating how we're conditioned to fear differences of any kind, even one so trivial as hair color.
The hair. Can you see a ginger tinge? Now that you mention it. So Christ only knows what's lurking downstairs. And that is a concern.
Vilifying redheads is likely not a very conscious decision by most of these characters' writers, who probably didn't have any ill intentions toward red hair or being different in the abstract. But this just speaks to how ingrained our subconscious feelings about the other can be.
Oh no. What?
Redhead Redemption? Whoa!
It's like redheads have multiple roles and different stories. And they can be good
this
or bad.
The third Red Dead Redemption game's subtitle.
Redhead Redemption? Oh.
Yeah, Redhead Redemption. We need to go to Tahiti, Arthur. There's a bunch of redheads over there.
Interesting. Go on.
Please continue.
Well, it's just he did have Sean McGuire as a redhead.
All right.
Takes 100 bounties to take down Sean McGuire.
Complex fictional redheads who've been successful and beloved on screen.
That's just she plays a hooker. It's nothing to do with her hair. It doesn't matter. She wears a wig originally.
How does a perfect movie in these people's head look like, really? Like, cause like at this point, like these kind of like complaints are like, who these people should be played by, really? Like these characters. If like redhead and like all those other things are like bad as well, because like blonde is usually associated with like really dumb women. Brunettes, I don't know if there's any complaints about brunettes. I think like they are like universally like liked, but I don't know.
I mean, I like brunettes, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, Pretty Woman. If you remember her opening scene, she wears a blonde wig, and then she takes it off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's classic to have prostitutes wear blonde. That's been a classic thing for thousands of years. But, I mean, they're just actors.
I'm just wondering what her overall point is, though. Like,
none. It's non-existent.
You can go through every single damn movie with redheads and every single movie without redheads and be like, hey, they're all very similar. They're all playing different roles. Maybe because the stories are different. I don't know.
I mean, could you imagine if I made a video where I'm like, okay, I'm going to examine the trope of baldness and like characters. Okay, here's a bald head redemption. I don't know.
Well, Mr. Blofeld,
bald head redemption.
Are you going to be a good boy or a bad boy? No, Mr. Bond, I want you to kill me.
Tell me what to do with my hair.
Bald is beautiful.
Oh, God.
Said by Walter White.
Titanic, really? Oh, my God. It's just a romance story. It's a romance.
What's redemption here? It's not. What is Rose doing that's redeeming?
Yeah, this came before all those problems that she said. This was the depiction in 1997, and then she was talking about shit that happened like in the 2000s. What are you talking about?
No wonder this channel is called The Take, because it's all like shitty takes.
The hottest take you could ever think of. We've got it, guys.
The hottest boiling shit you can ever think of.
Honestly, guys,
redhead take. I don't know.
do a Google search of all the amazing redheads. I think Lucille Ball will probably pop up, and like famous ones. I'm trying to remember, as I don't know too many redheads in general. I don't think it that way. But
Seamus.
Yeah,
he's a cool dude.
Books like Anna Green Gables, I think she's a redhead. There's a adventure story I used to read called oh crap, it was a young adult fiction novel, series of novels like Indiana Jones, but it was a woman and she had fiery red hair. Like there's all kinds of stories out there. So you just have to go through those, and I'm sure you'll find powerful, strong women who are villains and heroes, and it's just stories. It's nothing to do with being redheads. Anyway, Titanic, a romance.
This channel also has like a video about the lotus blossom, dangers of overly sexualizing Asian women.
Oh god.
and a video about Spirited Away, why work is toxic. Oh.
Yes, we over sexualize women, but women love to cosplay and all this shit. Yeah.
It's almost like women want to look pretty, attractive.
Not even to men. They want to outdo the woman next to them.
Well, I do remember Shrek. What's her name? The princess.
Fiona.
Fiona. Yeah.
Fiona.
Yeah, she was an attractive female princess, and then her real form is that of a not so attractive redheaded ogre. Yes. So, is she being marginalized by Hollywood? No.
Green people.
Red-headed ogres.
Oh yeah,
the green people.
the white patriarchy or white
normalizing
privilege.
Green people.
Yeah. How about the black ogres? You didn't think of them. You didn't. Yeah.
Black baby Yoda.
Yeah. Oh god.
Rose Dawson.
Red-headed female characters have also taken on
Oh,
positive
yeah,
symbolic
Pepper Potts.
associations, embodying qualities like bravery, passion, and independence.
A day where anything can happen. A day I can change my fate.
In some ways, many of cinema's most iconic redhead characters, like the teen characters played by Molly Ringwald in 80s John Hughes movies or Julia Roberts' Vivian in Pretty Woman, still do star in narratives that center on differentness.
Sure don't fit in down on the boulevard looking like you do. Not that you ever did.
But their stories are interested in their primary experience of feeling not like everyone else, and how this shapes them into strong individuals. Ringwald's redheads stand up for themselves against boringly conventional popular teens.
You know, I've been out with a lot of girls at this school. I don't see what makes you so different.
I have some taste.
And celebrate their own strength and individuality.
What did that cost you?
Oh, about $15 for the shoes, secondhand, and I made the rest.
Robert's Vivian is well aware how she's outcast in her society as a sex worker, but she takes pride in her intelligence and retains a fierce sense of self-worth despite what others think.
I say who, I say when, I say who.
Thus, her red hair acts as a symbol of resilience as she advocates for herself throughout the film.
I was in here yesterday. You wouldn't wait on me? Oh, you work on commission, right? Yes. Big mistake. Big. Huge.
She's also introduced to us wearing a blonde wig. So as she lets out her natural eye-catching red hair, this aligns with her journey of coming into a greater understanding of her own power and recognizing this.
She finds a guy who treats her as a person, and she decides to go back to school as a result.
It's almost like the man shaped the woman.
Yeah, it's like Richard Gere actually helped her out there and treated her like a person. And I mean, if you go from a prostitute to hanging out with a rich dude and going shopping and horse races and having a great time, and he's giving you more value than treating you like a sex worker, then your perspective might change a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, you could see what your life could be rather than what it is.
That's one aspect. I think it's because that he valued her, and saw her as more than just like I think it started off he just wanted to.
Oh yeah.
To just need companionship. He didn't want sex, and he's like, okay, fine. And she just kept her along, and he just it was fun for him to do that because for her she was having a great time and making a joke out of it, and he just wanted companionship for whatever reason. I don't remember the plot exactly, but yeah, it was a romance story, so it's beautiful, good stuff.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Oh yeah, it's been a while, but it was a nice like that. That's when she was doing like what was that other film where she was with that abusive husband? It came out around the same time, and it was a horror film, and he was like a neat freak, and she was trying to kill him and escape the house because he'd never let her leave or whatever. He'd always. Yeah, it was a weird film. The guy always organized the towels to be the same height when they were hung up on the rung on the bathroom, whatever you call it thing. And she would throw her wedding ring in the toilet or something. And yeah, weird story. I can't remember what it was called. Anyway. Anne of Green Gables, as in gay. We're forgetting about Matt Murdock. He disproves the whole redheads are always villainous incels. He's a Catholic guy who helps people. He's a total gash hound. These women are effing dunces.
Well, but he's blind, so marginalized, right?
Yeah, loser.
What a fucking loser. He's blind, he can't see.
I had acid in his eyes when he was a kid.
Yeah, from saving somebody. What a loser. Oh, was that movie called Sleeping with the Enemy?
Sounds familiar. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay, I was just looking at it.
Yeah, it's hard to remember. Those are old films. Yeah.
Size of her dreams.
I want the fairy tale.
Even in kids' cartoons, the association between redheaded girls and empowered independence comes through in characters like Jessie from Toy Story, Kim from Kim Possible, and Merida from Brave. All examples of strong-willed, courageous characters who embrace their unique talents and aren't held back by traditional gender roles.
I'll be shooting for my own hand.
More than ever today, red-haired characters have been breaking away from stereotypes, and red hair on screen doesn't have to be explicitly associated with one-dimensional differentness. Amy Adams, Julianne Moore, Jessica Chastain, Emma Stone, and Isla Fisher are some of Hollywood's most respected actresses who played a wide variety of roles and often managed not to be pigeonholed by traditional redhead casting.
We need to have enough vocabulary with them that we understand their answer.
Red-headed male stars, too, have moved beyond stereotypes like being undesirable. GQ's Conrad Coquillon described watching an arena of women swooning over Ed Sheeran as a life-changing epiphany in 2017, saying, "It wasn't until relatively recently..."
So she destroys all her arguments in the first half of this video. Did she have any point here? Seriously?
No, she was just saying things were bad for a time and then now they're good.
So there's nothing to talk about. Brilliant. We have come to full circle.
The redhead on screen. How we respond to difference. What the fuck?
You know what? As a musician, I don't think the ladies would give a flying flip whether this guy was bald, had blonde hair, or any hair.
Yes.
He's a musician. The ladies are listening to his lyrics and how the music makes them feel. This is very typical.
I mean, for pop music makers, there probably is value in how you look, but
sure.
they have enough money to make good.
I think so. I think there are women I've met where they're really attracted to this individual. I mean, I can't blame him.
I mean, he looks like a wimp, but I get women are crazy sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Women love musicians. It doesn't matter what they look like, or really, if they like their music and their music makes them feel something, they love musicians. It does not matter, how they dress, how they dance, how they look. They'll be like, oh, this guy makes me feel great.
But this guy at the British, what is it, the GQ? He's acting like this is the first time this has ever happened. because it's to a redhead man or something.
Yeah.
Again, I'm like, dude, go watch some WWE. There's Sheamus. People are cheering for that guy. Like, the Irishman has come finally, you know. I don't know. There's lots of examples where people go crazy for this kind of crap.
That I could accept the fact that I could be desirable as a red-haired man.
Ed Sheeran is actually helping gingers get lucky. Ed Sheeran we love? Yeah. But I would think you got to give the credit to Prince Harry.
And in 2013, photographer Thomas Knights began Red Hot.
Prince Harry, yeah.
Oh my god, dude. This is
Get
stupid.
the fuck out of here. No, that guy is not Prince anymore. He's like...
That's not... It's almost like the gingers... it's almost like... Look, I had a friend who was a ginger. He was able to pick up phone numbers from girls left and right. I don't know how he did it. It was amazing. This is all before Ed Sheeran. Really? What is this nonsense?
This guy apparently changed the way we look at redheads. Yeah.
I think like it's a very small minority of like women that like really is effective because like they look like Ed Sheeran or whatever. It's like it depends on like the person's charisma, like how much they can influence the situation.
It's almost like the hair doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like I have like a pretty dark brown hair. I don't think it really does matter like in my relationship at all. Like, I don't think like it's just because like I had this particular hair. Like it's more attractive to someone.
There are some women.
Skin color.
Yeah, there are some women who do like hair on a body or on a head.
Yeah, I have heard of that. Like knowing people probably like something that's like more brighter colored hair.
But in general, it's mostly: are you tall? Do you make me laugh? Can you support a family? That's pretty much
those are like aspects that are more important.
Yeah,
regardless if how fit you are, even.
Yeah, no, it's just: is it fun to be around you? Are you nice to me? Do you make me laugh? Do we go out and do stuff together? And we have the same interests?
Yeah, like I have seen so many fat slobs. I have seen it. They have never hit the gym at all, but they have like such charisma, or like they probably have enough money to have like women around them.
Yeah, that happens. And I don't know what this on-screen portrayal has anything to do with the reality. Again, like, okay, yeah, redheads.
Yeah, these fictional depictions of men and women who are redheads are XYZ. It's like, yes. So
it changed reality. I don't know. I don't know. This is
Anyway, we're almost done. We got another 3 minutes or so.
An art focused on showing redheaded men and redheaded women in a more attractive, desirable light.
They have always been attractive and desirable.
Wait, whoa. Now she's saying now they're attractive? What the heck?
Thousands of years of oppression finally ended because of media representation.
You know, I remember...
Magazine representation.
I can't remember the actual argument or the statement of redheads, but people like the personality of Lucille Ball just because she was so emotive and personable and loving in her roles. So the fact that she was a redhead was just unique. It was like, oh wow, Lucille Ball. Her image pops out to you. So if she had a different personality, if she had a different role or played in different things, yeah, you wouldn't think of her as much. But because she did have those roles, because she had those acting chops, I guess, or personality or emotions, you go, yeah, I remember her in these scenes and how she acted and how funny she was and how great she would be if you were to like go out with her and, you know, have fun. So there's lots to a person, and ascribing a color is like whoop-de-doo-da-day. It's nothing that spectacular. You You can say she looks lovely because of the red hair, but that's just one very surface level observation. It has nothing to do with her character.
This slightly tongue-in-cheek ginger pride movement has been encouraged by a new generation of ginger-leading men like Tom Hiddleston and Homeland's Damian Lewis.
Be brave. I'm daring.
So?
I'm ready to fight for what you believe in.
Who have helped to undermine ginger stereotypes and show them for how silly they often are. Today, prejudice against redheads in most places is
Wait a second. I like the stereotypes. I like the seductress who happens to be a redhead. What's wrong with that? If we find something attractive, we go, oh, this is a pattern. I've seen it happen before, here and there. Why is that? I don't know, but it looks like this. Oh, red hair. Huh. Wow. I agree. That does look interesting and attractive in its own weird, unknown, mysterious way. Great. Do that with blondes and raven-haired and balds and whatever. What's wrong with that stereotype?
Oh, about white privilege and then, I don't know, something about blacks being oppressed.
Well, I don't see any. I don't see any large.
She spent like so much time about like why it's not a problem that Ariel is going to be replaced by a black actress, and then like spends the second half of talking like how cool it is to have red haired person play the character.
Exactly. She's like, oh, we need more ginger pride.
By the way,
I'm
we're
like, but
replacing,
they're trying to kill the ginger pride.
By the way, we're replacing this very famous red-haired folklore story with a black woman. You're like, oh, what?
Well, we've done so many characters now. I won't be surprised if someone uploaded it again on Stream Memes. But how many characters? How many redhead characters have been replaced?
There are some compilation of that in memes.
Yeah.
So we will see.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Wild enough to be joked about.
Just feel like it's time that we stood up and said, you know, we're not going to take this anymore. We are ginger, and
Oh my
we're
God.
going to fight.
In 2019,
Prince Harry the biggest cuck, whatever.
even put a call out for red-haired donors specifically because demand was so high. Meanwhile, some of the good associations with the red-headed character remain and are worth keeping alive.
The character that dies after
redhead
4 minutes in
stereotypes
the movie.
implications of independence
Well,
and
she got
vivaciousness.
old.
Our
Yeah.
fate
Yes.
lives within us. You only have to be brave enough to see it.
Since white redheaded characters aren't explicitly minorities and are more often used unconsciously to express difference, they can be an especially revealing symbol of our secret beliefs about the other. They end up exposing our societal impulse to interpret visual differences as negative or group people together.
We could be racist tyrannos, but redheads aren't a race, Jonah.
But sir, there's heaps of them.
The redhead problem is also a clue to how both our negative and positive biases are loaded with complicated cultural histories, connotations, and often, yes, prejudices, even when we think we're just expressing an individual preference. Becoming
Wait. No. If you say, I prefer redheads over blondes, that's your personal tastes. That's not a prejudice. It's not a cultural bias. You just like that.
What's prejudice about it? Like, are you killing them or putting them in cages or something?
It's the equivalent of saying, I prefer vanilla ice cream over chocolate ice cream. I don't dislike chocolate ice cream. I just prefer vanilla. What's wrong with that? This is like, is she trying to like think that the redhead is the endangered species of humanity or something? Like, oh, you can't dislike or like, you have to treat them equally. It's like, what? No. I can like and dislike whatever I darn well please. It's just appearances. It's not like I want to get out there. Okay, we got to get some redheads together. We got to start mass producing babies. Got to protect this minority group. Got to make more redheads.
Let's protect this minority group by advocating for the destruction of the minority group.
I don't know. This is so silly. It's a preference. If you like them, good for you. Whether it's because of film or TV or you just grew up around redheads, good for you. You know what you like. It's not racially biased.
Yeah, why is it that the black guys prefer the white woman over the black woman?
Well,
I don't know.
Even then, if they preferred white or black, it's like an individual can like whatever the hell they like. Who the hell cares? What's the problem with that?
Well, I know. Yeah.
The same argument with the black Ariel. Yeah, maybe a black Ariel could work. I don't know. It could. I'll watch it and see if it works well. If it works well, great. It was a good idea. It doesn't work well, and they bring up race, I'll be, oh, here we go. Now you know where their head was at.
Or you can be the special. You can be that one special guy that likes every type. Hmm?
Every type of woman.
I love all the colors.
So
yeah.
so long as it's a female,
yeah, as long as
it's good
female.
to me. It's got a pulse and it's a woman. We're good.
Yeah, and if she's breathing, of course, obviously.
Yeah, breathing,
She has a
especially
pulse.
underwater breathing. It's very important because she's a mermaid. So.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Aware of the redhead dichotomy can help us wake up to how society treats all differences, from the surface level to the more significant.
I don't know what these differences. What are you talking about? We treat
You
women
just said
who
there
are
was a redemption or something.
Yeah, but if everyone treats attractive women as sex objects, I don't care what they look like. If you're attracted to a woman, they're a sex object. That's generally how it goes. You could see beauty in a woman and not think of her sexually, but usually those go hand in hand rather quickly. So you say they're cute, they're attractive, they're beautiful. That does not necessarily mean sexy, but that usually lends itself to that. You can develop sexual feelings for that sort of observation. It's kind of a natural thing. But there is no... there is
that's
no...
our humanity.
Yeah, there is no fetishization by virtue of simply being a minority. That's weird. That's like saying I find exotic women really attractive because they're alien to me and I don't know what they're like. It's like
They're people. I don't know.
Yeah, anyone who's foreign, you're probably not going to have the greatest conversation with just because they're foreign, unless they like the same things you do. You communicate very effectively. Your intelligence is very similar. Your vocabulary is similar. The topics are similar. Like that's how you get to know someone very well, if you can communicate. If they're foreign and they're so exotic, this is a completely new experience. Guess what? You probably won't have the greatest time. You probably won't be too experienced, and you won't be able to communicate very well. They'll still be exotic to you and mysterious, but you won't get much out of that communication. So,
I don't know. She seems to imply that like we're just all wanting sex or something.
Well, I could agree with that too and say we do, and the statement I made was still the same. If you still can't learn about this person as a person, as opposed to you grew up in a family of redheads, like no. I've met redheads' parents before. They weren't redheads. So, you know, it's a recessive trait like blue eyes. It's all it is. It's not a big deal. Is it rare? Yes. Is it a big deal? Not really.
Yeah, everybody has their ideal significant other, right?
Yeah, but I mean, there's other genetic similarities aside from red hairs or whatever in that genotype, like cancer, for example, certain heart conditions, certain skin conditions. So these are all part and parcel of being from a certain group, and that's everywhere. It's not just Scotland. So
yeah,
it's not a big deal. Have your preferences, gentlemen. Nothing wrong with that. Like what you like. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not a socially appropriation of this or that culture or genome. You just happen to like people of a certain look. Good for you. Go for it.
And women do the same thing too. Yeah.
Exactly. Pick a tall guy out.
We all do.
Amongst a short guy. The women will go for the tall guy. Even if the woman is like 4'9" or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They still want a tall guy. Don't ask me why.
Really tall guy, yeah.
Yeah, couldn't tell you. And that's funny. I used to hang out at funeral parlors because my mom used to work at a funeral parlor. And you see these families where these really, really tall men, really, really short women. It's like, whoa, what the?
Whoa.
Where'd that go? Like, a lot. Like, not just a few, but like a few times a month. You're like, what the? How did that happen? Anyway, lots of preferences. Nothing wrong with that. Ladies, enjoy what you like. Men, enjoy what you like. There's nothing wrong with any of this.
And it
Sometimes
can
you
push
meet
us
the
to
one
notice
and it doesn't
how
matter
we react
anymore,
to
right?
anyone who doesn't fit our unconscious assumptions about what is the norm.
Red hair.
No one has... What? There's no one saying it's a norm. If something is not a majority, it's minority. And if it's not the minority, then you have a different classification, so it's rare. And that's fine with any group of people in a society or in a section of the populace. Like, we have less foreigners here. Well, I fancy that. There's less Americans in Japan. Wow, who knew?
And a hand-me-down robe. You must be a Weasley.
This is The Take on your favorite movies, shows, and culture.
Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us.
Please subscribe and never miss a take.
Wow. You guys suck. And of course, one of them was
both looked
Irish.
like brunettes, so like I didn't understand like what was their point here, because
Yeah.
I thought like one of them was like a redhead or something.
Yeah, Susanna McCullough sounds like an Irish or Scottish name. So, chief creative director, script edit, same freaking person. Oh, give me a break, ladies.
Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, what a bad video.
That was pretty
It's
sad.
not the worst. Yeah.
There were at least
Yeah, it's
3
just
moments.
sad.
3 moments we went, whoa, 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 whoa. Stop talking.
I mean, it was
Now-
bearable, but like, oh god.
Yeah.
Now my idea on redheads are just that they're dumb.
Yes.
Thanks, ladies.
Redhead means cowardice.
It's fucking goddamn it.
Oh my god. It's all the Irish patriarchs' faults. Yes, they need those red-headed virgins. That's
living out their wet dreams.
what a bizarre take on the patriarchy. I've never heard that before. The patriarchy demands virgins. What the fuck? Are they a satanic cult? What are they doing with them? All right, here we go. We got a bunch of superheroes here.
Kid Flash. I think that's Jimmy Olsen.
Right.
Iris West. I don't. The last one. Was that?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not familiar with any of these guys. Oh my, there's more. Oh god, no.
Oh yeah, they did it to Lego Batwoman for some reason.
Batgirl. April O'Neil.
They did it to April O'Neil too. Oh my god.
Yes, they have in the comics in the new cartoon.
No.
There's a lot I don't know. Oh my god, there's even more. Ah. Oh, they did. What's it? They did it to Triss Marigold. I remember that.
Oh, they did it to Heimdall.
Oh, really? All right. Well, Anne Boleyn, according to the BBC. There we go.
Black woman.
Yeah, that was great.
Yes, this is the one that I mentioned.
Yeah. These are shows I haven't seen, so I don't know. I'm not familiar with them.
I don't think anyone has seen.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm the Little Mermaid now.
I'm the Little Mermaid now. Oh my god.
These emasculated red superheroes. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Red
I
Arrow.
forget about Red Arrow. Yeah.
Daredevil. Mentioned that.
Oh, that looks cool. I like that look.
I don't like the stick having that long rope, but yeah, it's fine. Not my daughter,
that's
you
kinda
bitch. When you show up to a super secret patriarchy meeting, what's the best woman? The redhead, brunette, redhead.
Blazing Saddles.
It's a black guy. That's funny.
That was a good movie.
Beware the Redhead. Who's this? I have no idea.
I think it's the woman from Clownfish TV.
Oh, really?
Is that what she looks like?
No, that's the channel from. I don't really know what that channel is because it's mostly blabbering about media articles.
So, Redhead plus Cat Girl, what's not to like? I would imagine plenty of mangas do have a combination similar to this. And it's only when they have like a one-page spread where the artist colors it that you know they're a redhead or a blonde or whatever. Because other than that, you have no idea what the hair color is. And it's not a big deal. Redheads are oppressed, Twitter. But they still have white privilege. Actually, blacks are oppressed, Twitter.
Yeah.
That's the Twitter mob for you, yeah.
Yeah, and I like that they're all white because there's always white people.
This is the most accurate meme.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So what kind of redhead is Yaddle? There's the female Yoda.
That's a female Yoda?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that episode 1 or 2?
Yaddle.
Episode 1, yeah. After that, she doesn't show up at all.
Disappears.
She dies?
I honestly don't understand what.
Or maybe she has the baby
intention with
Yoda.
this shit.
Mandalorian.
Oh no! Oh. No.
We'll bring her back for Mandalorian season 3.
Redheads are
and
nerds.
like now the two Yodas are talking with like horrible grammar.
Well, redheads are nerds, vixens, seductresses, villains, heroine. Could you not keep your stereotypes straight for just 5 minutes? What?
For 5 minutes.
Grammar would be good, yeah. All right, Alex Halo. Yeah, this is very similar to what we just saw before.
We don't hate genders. We just want to oppress them.
Well, that's Hawk Girl? What did they do to her? All right.
Wait. Oh, that's Hawk Girl. Oh.
Where's that? Is that the... Where is that? I don't remember.
Probably from one of the stupid CW shows.
Yeah.
Probably Legend, I think.
Me explaining Hollywood hates ginger characters, my friends. Like, what? Oh, God. If all 4 of these kinds of redheads exist, there is no dichotomy.
Yes, she kept referring to that word, but doesn't make much sense with this.
Well, she said there were female seductresses and male wimps or male weaklings, which is not a dichotomy.
Villain, I guess.
It's not a dichotomy.
Supposedly.
There's no dichotomy between a male and a female redhead that one of them is X, the other one is X2 or something. I was like, it's not a dichotomy. There's more versions of that. What was the point of this video? Cool story, but I don't know. It was just to say some crazy shit about redheads because they found a bunch of clips. And at 3 points, they talked about politics, which is kind of dumb. We redheads haven't been treated well by Hollywood.
Yosemite Sam.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, what a sad video.
Well, this was the 3rd or 4th video from the list. I could not find anyone to cover the other videos. And honestly, the other videos were not very good. So... sometimes democracy works, guys. Sometimes it doesn't. This is the exact. And plus, we didn't have it yesterday because no one signed off on it.
Yeah, sorry. I was.
Well,
not feeling good.
Yeah, not only that, but like the videos were not very interesting. Like this was the one we chose, but even yesterday was like, I don't know, doesn't seem like a good option. Even the one that someone wanted to do from the auxiliary channel, because we have a backup channel in case we don't have enough people. It was on anime, and they're like, okay, let's do that one. It was by that 1 million sub YouTuber, the Roundtable. And I watched that. I was bored. That was a dumb video. And the guy, someone in the auxiliaries was like, they wanted to do it. I said, sure, let's do it. And then like an hour later, like, you know what? Second thought, I'm not going to do it because it was a dumb video. So the roundtable is not really entertaining. I don't know how he got so popular.
Can you remember which one the round table is? Because it's just like,
he is
probably like.
Oh, was it the what was it, the Pora and Burrito or something?
He likes something to do with the Last Airbender, but I find his videos boring. There's just nothing there. So hopefully we get some better ones, but thanks guys. Always appreciate the suggestions. And hopefully we'll get more entertaining videos sooner. But it's all up to you. Keep the suggestions coming. Keep the voting going. And if you want to appear on the Smudcast and talk along with me on topics that you're interested in, always message me. Say hello. I have no problems with that.
Seems like tomorrow's video is gonna be the Full Metal Alchemist Genocides problem.
Oh, really? More anime. All right. Cool stuff. Okay. Well, we were thinking of having a dedicated anime day, but I have to bring in like Alex Halo or the Otaku Sage.
Alex Halo is going to like non-stop talk about Fate and what else is that?
Yeah.
Neptunia.
Yeah, it'll be a video about Naruto. And he's like, well, in Fate, this is very similar to this character. Thanks.
The Alex, the Fate cast, yeah.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah. Welcome to the Fate cast. Here's Alex. I'll just read a book for the next hour. So, anyway, thank you, folks. Keep them coming. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks. See ya.